Hi, everybody. This is today's version for February 20th, Monday, February 20th of Live Chats with Maggie and Bunny. Today, you're going to see that it is only Bunny. So that is because Maggie is doing what we always say that we should do when our body is telling us things that we should be listening to that. And so she's taking some time to mend the body and, um, do her resting and taking care of herself and doing what she needs to do to get well. So we are sending out extra love and healing energy for her today, in just to get better soon. Yeah, so nothing serious, but yeah, definitely taking some time just to make sure that she gets well physically as well as everything else. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, as we are based in Niagara region of Ontario, Canada, there is a holiday today called Family Day. So it does fall on I think it's the third Monday of February, and it is an official statutory holiday in Ontario. So it is a provincial holiday, and it is called Family Day. And so today, Maggie thought, why not? Why don't we talk about family? So, for sure, we're going to talk about the different types of family that we have, not just our biological family that you're born into, but also the families that we create, the families that we expand by adding, friends and that sort of thing, and also our um, families from the other side, from spiritual self and spiritual world. Yeah, so our families that we create, that we have, or sorry, that we're born into, I firmly believe that we do pick before we come into this life, that our spiritual self, our higher self, our subconscious, however you want to say it, our soul, does set out and gets to choose a lifetime. And we not only choose the life that we're going to lead, but we choose the family that we're going to be surrounded with. Sometimes these people, in my belief and my understanding, are people and souls that have been in previous lifetimes. And they're always people and souls that we are going to learn the biggest lessons from. And that could be through either good, quote unquote, good experiences, or through bad experiences. Whatever it is that's going to help our souls expand and grow and learn some new things. So in my case, I know that this is a reunion life that I am having. So many of the people that are in my life, I've been in previous lifetimes with, and we have some lessons that still need to be kind of cleared up, and maybe getting a little bit of an extra grade on them. And so definitely picking, my family, my parents raised me. They were both young when I was born, and so a lot of things came with that, a lot of stresses in their own life with having raised children while they were still children themselves. By the time my dad, who was 16 when I was born, by the time he was 19 years old, he had three children under the age of 3. My mom was 18 when I was born. So by the time she was 21, she had 3 children under the age of 3. So there's myself, my sister, who is 22 months younger than me, and my brother, who is 11 months younger than her. So, yes, my parents had what they call Irish twins. So that actually caused, some kind of experiences in our life that definitely taught us a lot of lessons. They taught us many, many things. And that is something that the family that you get to choose before you come here does do for you. It expands and shows you different things. Now, there's also the karmic ties, or the ties between my siblings and I. So we also have those where we would have had previous lifetimes together. Then, when you expand it a little bit more, I also did get married, and I met my, as I call him, my practice husband, the first husband, when I was 16 years old. And that, I also believe, was something that was set up. And our children, so we had two boys. We have two wonderful boys. They are Christopher, who's 22, and Denton, who is 20. And they also would have chosen us as their parents, and we would have agreed to that in our soul, to say, yes, we can have you, we'd love to have you as parents, biologically, and for whatever experiences we could add to help them expand their souls. So those are definitely those things. It also includes, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your grandparents, biological, also married into, all of those kind of things. They all do lead into that. And through that, you can tell. So there were times where certain, like my uncles played a very large role in my life, and some of my aunts played a very large role in my life when I was younger. And then some of them no longer play a role in my life. And that's how you can tell kind of where those lessons were and where they needed to be. And so that's something that, even sometimes examples where I know of one person in particular who didn't have a great experience with their mother, who, they actually had a lot of traumatic experiences. But then when she became a mother herself, was able to then kind of do better than what her mother did because of the lessons that she had learned. And that allowed her to be a better version of a mother, or at least that's what she attributed it to. I also do know that there are some friends that I've had in my life, Maggie included, who become almost like family themselves. So we become so close, and then they are like family. And I know that my children have some people that they call grandparents who aren't blood related, people that they call aunt and uncle who also are not blood related. And those are particularly because those are friends who became like family. And so that's another part of your family. And those people may be soul families as well. And, and they come in and they help support you, and they help grow. And then if you have children of your own, they will also continue to grow a family, and that expands and explores, and you have experiences. And sometimes they're not the easiest things, but you're always learning amazing lessons from them. So those are something that you can think about when you're thinking about family members. Now, also, we do have the spiritual family. So, your spiritual family, as a medium myself, I have brought in spiritual family, sometimes family members that the person who is sitting for the reading, they never actually met them in life. So, a grandparent, a great grandparent, an aunt or an uncle, something like that, who actually never actually came into this person's life because this person wasn't alive yet. And those people, I have one in particular, I have a story in particular. My eldest son does not remember this, of course, because he was only one. But when he was 1 year old, he used to look at pictures of my practice husband's grandmother, and he used to smile, and he would talk to the picture, and he would tap the picture. And I knew within my heart that it meant that he did experience and see this person, and he knew who this person was. And this person is his ancestor and does help him from the other side, although he does not remember that, and he probably doesn't have any conscious awareness of that at this time. It's quite common for people after the age of 6 and until they awaken, if they choose to awaken later, that they would kind of close off those things. But it doesn't mean that the spiritual or spirit family ancestors are not helping you as well from the other side. They definitely do, whether you believe in them or not. That's not a factor in if they're going to help you. But yeah, so the spiritual family can be people who you've never met before. They can be people who you have met. So in my case, my grandmother, who is my maternal grandmother, she was like a second mom to me. We had a very close relationship in life. I was her first granddaughter. She had 3 grandsons before me, and then she had another grandson after me, my sister, my brother. And then now she has some other great grandchildren, and she has a list of great grandchildren, but those were her grandchildren. And I was definitely her favorite right away from the beginning. And she definitely, even when she was nearing the end of her life, she had Alzheimer's, dementia, and my sister and my mom would help take care of her. and she wouldn't recognize them as her daughter or her granddaughter. But when I walked in the room, she immediately knew who I was. She would smile and say, Bunny, my Bonita, because that's what she used to call me. And she didn't care. The one time I went to visit her and I had a cold, and I said, no, Grandma, I don't want to come near you because I have a cold. And she says, I don't care. Come here. So we definitely knew that I was her favorite. And since she has passed away, she always comes through mediumship readings. So she never leaves me. She's always with me. And I have since learned, taking some past life regression classes, that she actually was in previous lifetimes with me as well. So that's kind of exciting to know. That we've shared many lifetimes together, and that explains probably why she found me to be her favorite. Um, but yeah, so she definitely does still help me from the other side. I also have my dad, who had passed away in 2012 on November 3rd. He was the first close family member who I had lost that was really impacted my life a lot. And I know that I would dream about him and I would feel him around me. Not so much uh, after a little while, but I do know that if I was ever to ask for his help, he would be there for me. Same with my late husband, Steve, who passed in December 8th of 2017. And I know he is always around me and he's always helping me and looking out for the best of me. So yeah, you can always call on your spiritual family. So those could be people who are in spirit who you knew here, but also they could be people or beings that you didn't even know when you were incarnated in this lifetime, who could help you out as well. Your ancestors, spirit guides, angels, ancestors from other lifetimes, all of that. They're always there for you and they're always there to help you. So definitely that is something. So on this family day, you can think about all of the family members that you have in your life and think about the things that you've learned from each of them, or something that they have given to you positively in your life, some experiences that they've helped you with. Sometimes we look at things, even the death of somebody, I can see how that can change into something positive if I look at it in a different way and look at what the impact was on that. Maybe, if somebody, I have a friend who passed away about 6 months ago. And when I think about her, I often think about what it's like to make sure that you live life and you savor every moment. So these are the kinds of things that you can learn even through that. And I love the quote, or I don't know if it's a quote, but the saying by Dr. Wayne Dyer, who would say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So often do that as well with your relationships. I know for me personally, we are told to do unconditional love. Unconditional love is the most important thing for us to learn and for us to do in our life. And the way that I do unconditional love is first by understanding. So if I understand why somebody might be doing something or why somebody might act in a certain way, it helps me to be able to give them compassion. And once I can get to that part of compassion, because, if somebody said something to you that was very mean, and you understand that the reason that they're saying that is actually because they are hurt themselves and they were reacting a certain way, maybe from a misunderstanding, or that you triggered a wound by saying something, or just something like that, or they weren't feeling good, whatever the case may be. And so with that, then what would happen is I could give compassion, and I don't have to tell them. They don't have to tell me what it is or anything like that. I can just give them compassion. So giving them compassion to me is sort of like the Care Bear stare when it would come out from, their bellies. So I'd think about, for the solar plexus, kind of just giving them some compassion, and then like I said, understanding, compassion, and that leads me to acceptance, to understanding why they are the way that they are, and to think of, well, I accept that they're that way. And then right as soon as acceptance is there, then easily follows for me is unconditional love. Understanding, compassion, acceptance brings me to unconditional love. So if you could do that with somebody from your family, maybe, I do have somebody or in my family who I don't particularly like to talk to. And I don't have to talk to her very often, and I can give her love from afar because I know when we're together, it's not the easiest things to happen because there is a lot of hurt and pain. And I can work on it on my side, and I can be in the same room, and I can be civil, and I can be kind. Um, I can be gentle, but I also do know that sometimes I'm not fully healed. So I do have to just kind of step back a little bit. but I can look at these things differently, and I can choose to heal them, and I can get into understanding, compassion, acceptance, and unconditional love. Well, that's it for today for live chats with At Above and Beyond's Maggie and Bunny, just Bunny today. And join us next week when we are going to chat about something else that has to do with life and love and um, you know, our living. so join us at Above and Beyond. Bye for today.